Welcome to the show. We'll begin with basketball, but we've got a lot of other things to talk about as well. Our guest is senior Zach Charles, a forward on the men's basketball team, coming off a great 17.5 rebound effort against Tennessee State. And you're really hitting your stride here in your senior year of late, Zach.
Yeah, I've been feeling a lot more confident. Last game I just got in a pretty early groove. Saw the ball go in the basket a couple times, and usually when that happens, I just do other things also, not just scoring, just rebounding, blocking shots, trying to help my team get involved with the game. And last game, I just got in a real nice groove.
I know you've been working on your outside shot in the offseason, and we haven't seen it much, but you hit one early this year, I believe, against Mississippi. You had only hit one last year against Texas Tech back in your home state. You go out and hit two the other night. You were really stroking it from outside.
Yeah, it's just confidence. You know, my teammates and also my coaching staff, they've been on me all year about confidence, just staying on me. And I think last game was a perfect example of that. And the first one I made, it just felt good. And the second one, I was just got in the groove. So
the one thing you do so well is time your jump and defend the rim when you're on defense. 55 blocks already in your career, a 2-year career. What does it take to be a good shot blocker?
I say for the most part, just timing, like you said, as well as offensive rebounding. But blocking shots is like it can go either way, because you could easily foul a person or just get the block. But I think for the most part, just timing the ball, seeing when the person is going to release the ball, that's probably the biggest part.
You live down in the Dallas area, live in Frisco now, and I know you train down there in the off season. Interesting story about you and somebody that a lot of people on social media would know about. Tell us that story this past summer.
So basically this past summer I trained at Michael John's Performance in Frisco. And Brody Smith is a professional frisbee athlete, and he also does work with trick shots and stuff. And I was working out with him for a couple weeks, and after our workout, he was just throwing the frisbee around, and he threw the frisbee like off the backboard, and I dunked it, and it made it onto his profile. So I became pretty good friends with him.
That's awesome. Was it tougher to dunk a frisbee than it is a basketball?
Yeah, it took us like 50 or 60 tries to do it, because he threw it from a longer distance. So I would say probably like 80 or 90 feet he threw the frisbee, and I had to time it perfectly to catch the frisbee off the backboard. So it took us quite a while.
You were originally from Los Angeles, and back when you were a young teenager, skateboarding was kind of your sport.
Yeah, skateboarding is like, it's a big thing in California, so I mean, everyone does it. So it was just something that I saw playing like Tony Hawk video games, and like my older cousin, he used to skate too. So like I was like, oh, I'll try it. And then I did it like pretty much all of like middle school, but then my dad was like, you need to focus on basketball, because he wanted me to do that. Plus I was like 6'1", 6'2", so I was already pretty tall at that age.
Obviously, you would like to play pro ball after college. There's a lot of opportunities in Europe, and then you get a sport management major. So I would assume that Zach Charles will stay in sports in some way post-college.
Yeah, that's the plan. See how things go the rest of this season, the remainder of the season. Get a few workouts, see what happens. I'll just be open for any opportunity that best suits me, and then maybe after that, get into the coaching realm.
The key here that people need to understand, I know the record's not where you want it, but you guys are working hard. You've stayed together. You got a team that everybody likes each other. So hopefully W's will be rewarded, because I know you guys have worked hard.
Yeah, the main focus right now is just trying to get everybody to focus on, like you said, everyone on the team is selfless, and we don't have any selfish players on our team. The main focus right now is just to get just the learning curve for some of the young guys, and they've been coming to practice every day working hard, so I mean, we really can't ask for much more.
All right, Zach, great to watch you in these 2 years, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
That's Zach Charles with the men's basketball team. It's a men's-women's doubleheader both on Thursday and Saturday. The Thursday games are against Tennessee Martin, and the women's game starts at 5:30, the men at 8, and then it's Morehead State in town for a 4:30, 7 o'clock doubleheader on Saturday. Our radio and video links can be found at EKUsports.com. The men's broadcast at 100.7 and on the TuneIn app with your phone, and the women's broadcast at 92.5 FM and 1340 AM. Up next, it's time for softball this weekend, and we'll talk with head coach Jane Worthington. But first, the Olympics are getting underway halfway around the world, and we'll catch up with a former EKU athlete that's now in the Athletics Hall of Fame, a past member of the U.S. Bobsled team.
At EKU, you'll learn to take a broader view of your world. But we also understand it's the details that shape the big picture. So go ahead, play with fire, think on your feet, or touch the sky. Here, you'll be a part of something new, something big, something beautiful. Be a colonel. Your time is now.
Dallas Robinson, who was a track athlete at EKU, joins the EKU Athletics Hall of Fame. But where do I start? You've had quite a career, Dallas. Let's start with track at Eastern Kentucky. 9 gold medals in all the events. You were a sprinter. Tell me about that.
You know, I was never actually a high school state champion. I was barely a regional champion, and I came here and Tim Moore saw something in me, and he cultivated me and believed in me. And that belief really helped me move into obviously being one of the most decorated sprinters in EKU history, and you know, athlete of the year and the championships and what have you.
Then you go on after you graduate from here. You go into the Army. You spend over 6 years there, and then your sports develop beyond just track and field into other things. So what did the education at Eastern, followed by being in the Army, teach you about life?
Sure. Well, you know, what I learned at Eastern, I learned how to learn. Mm-hmm. I learned how to dream, and I learned how to believe. And that catapulted me in the Army, getting promoted 6 times in 4 years, graduating as a soldier of cycle, getting an opportunity to meet the President of the United States and go to the White House. And all of that came from learning to learn and learning to dream and learning to believe. And Mark Twain says that never let your education get in the way of your learning. But EKU provided both, an opportunity to learn and an opportunity to get an education.
So you play on the national team in rugby sevens, 15, and then you morph into 2-man and 4-man bobsled. How does that happen?
Yeah, you know, so I didn't take for granted that I was an average, above average high school football athlete who developed into a conference champion and a champion here at Eastern. And I did not think my journey ended there. And Tim Moore supported me to continue to train and continue to advise me. And even when I joined the service, I knew I still had an opportunity and I still had something left in the tank. So competed for roughly 5 years with Team USA Athletics. And that transition actually happened 4 years after I graduated college. It took a very long time, a lot of really hard work and a lot of balancing 2 and 3 jobs. But I knew I wasn't done yet. And so I got to compete in the Olympics as an active duty soldier in the state's only soldier Olympian.
Wow, and you were in the Winter Olympics in Russia in Sochi in 14, right?
Yes, sir.
That had to be a great experience.
It was a wonderful experience. The Russian people were fantastic. I was fortunate enough to have columns in the Courier Journal and the New York Times that I got to write back how well we were being treated. And yeah, it was an amazing experience. And also to get to be there as a U.S. soldier in Russia, both representing and serving your country. It was a remarkable experience. And
you've stayed busy since your Army days and your Eastern days. You've got, listen to what you're doing now. I know you live in Campbellsville, work in Marion County.
Yeah, I'm a farmer, you know, and I love education. I love kids. And so I've been a dean of students, director of discipline, athletic director at the local high school. I just moved out to that area a few years ago. An opportunity, my grandfather fought in 3 wars, World War II, Vietnam War, Korean War. And when he retired, he became a farmer. But he was in his 60s, and he didn't get to farm very long. So I always said, I want to be a farmer but I'm going to do it as early as possible.
Yeah,
So I get to farm my entire life and continue to farm with the kids and invest and sow in their lives as well.
Yeah. Next time you come back to Richmond, bring me a bushel of blackberries or whatever they call
Absolutely.
them. Dallas,
Absolutely.
congratulations. Thanks for the service to your country and what you've done for EKU.
Thank you very much.
All right, Dallas Robinson now in the EKU Athletics Hall of Fame.
Every day is a concept that few people can commit to. Every day requires a level of dedication that forces you to test your limits.
Every day I'll give back to the community because I draw strength from their support. Every day the sounds of your cheers will echo through my mind. Knowing that you have my back means I can always look forward.
Every day I'll be too tired to sweat and my bones will ache. Every day will provide me with the slight edge that I need to succeed. Champions are built every day.
One hit high and deep.
Back of the end zone. Brown got it.
Four drives inside, put it up. See this one swung and missed it. Now Smith again, block point tech. Nice turnaround by Johnson. Near post. Kick in.
Any place, anytime. Find it here. The OBC Digital Network.
Well, there's still snow on the ground in parts of the country, but hey, it's softball season for EKU, and they're going to Chicago to start. Jane Worthington's here, but you are playing indoors.
We are. We're playing in a great facility. It's where the Chicago Bandits professional team plays, and there's 2 full fields there. It'll be great.
IPFW, Northern Colorado, and then a couple of Chicago schools, Loyola and DePaul. And you play your first 17 games on the road. That's typical, these round-robin events at different venues to really get a lot of games under you. What are you looking for your team? Because you got a mixture of veterans and then a lot of young players.
We do, and we've been working really hard. This group they've been practicing with a purpose. And so what we want to do is get out there and just see what we've accomplished up to this point and see what else we need to work on. Because this team, with all of the new players that we have, I think we will continue to improve over the season. And I think we'll probably start off okay.
This is your 26th season. You've had 690 wins, so we're almost to 700. And I can see a gleam in your eye. You get excited about the start of softball season.
I do. It sounds like a lot of years, but it doesn't feel like that many. People ask me because I think 27 is a magic number when you're in the Kentucky teachers retirement system. But as long as I'm loving it and as long as EKU will have me, I'm going.
It's a program that has been bolstered by the improvements in the field and your indoor facility. And I know you said to me that it feels like that's really helped recruiting as well. We've kind of made a statement here.
It has helped. In fact, we've got some quality, this sounds awful, but some quality 2019s and 2020s that have already decided that this is where they want to go to school. You're talking about sophomores in high school that come to campus and they get to see our facilities and they know that we're on the upswing.
Now, on your pitching staff, Molly Pollock returns. She'll be a sophomore, had a 2.63 ERA, so she and others will be part of your pitching staff this year.
Yeah, we expect big things from Molly. I think another year experience will absolutely help her bring those numbers down even a little bit lower. We've added a few more pitches to her repertoire. And then we also have a number of pitchers that will be able to complement that. I expect one of our freshmen, Sammy Reynoso, is very good. So we'll see what she can do too.
Paige Murphy is a returning all-conference player, an outfielder. You lost 4 starters in your lineup, but Paige Murphy, you're going to rely on her a lot. Good hitter, good slugging percentage.
Sure, Paige is exceptional. I can't say enough about her as a person and as a player. Somehow, even when she doesn't look like she had a good day, she still went 3 for 4 and probably had a couple of walks. It's just that you get to that point where you're looking for home runs all the time.
And you have 9 new players, so you've already mentioned your new pitcher, but it's going to be the veterans and how they mix with the young players or the new players.
It is, and for me to figure out what the best mix is. But I will tell you that this is one of the most cohesive teams I've ever had.
The one thing you've told me, you've lost one player for the year due to an injury, another one that's banged up, and so depth that's with every coach. But you've got a little bit of a depth concern, especially up the middle defensively.
We do. We had a couple of players go down that are going to be finished. They're not going to be able to compete at all this year. And one of them was a middle infielder, and you know how important your middle infield is. And you can't always just bring somebody off the bench and throw them in at shortstop. Or second base even. You know, that's unique responsibilities, and you've got to have some experience there to do a good job.
Nothing better than going out on a nice spring day to Gertrude Hood Field and watching EKU softball. And the first chance, let's keep our fingers crossed on the weather, March 7th against Dayton is your first home game.
It is. March 7th, we play a doubleheader. And then I will say, in addition to that, we have more home games than we've had in the past. One of the reasons we were shorted a little bit last year because we were working on the stadium. Well, all of those universities that we went to are now returning the trip. I want to say we have 22, 23 home games.
We know all the conference games, and that will start later in the season. Who else is coming to town that may excite the Colonel fans?
Well, everybody's going to be excited to play Kentucky. You know, when we play those guys, one, it's always a good game, and two, we always have a great crowd. I want to say we had close to 1,500 people at the ball game last year.
All right, good luck in Chicago, and you got your suitcase packed because you're going to be traveling for the next month.
But it's
okay.
getting there.
Thanks, Jane. I appreciate it. That's Jane Worthington, the softball coach here at EKU. When we come back, we're going to switch to another sport. This one indoor and outdoor, and an athlete that runs, jumps, throws. He does it all. We'll be back with Yahshua Reed when Inside EKU Sports continues.
We are more than just athletes. We inspire scholars. We inspire leaders. We inspire champions. We inspire family. This is the Ohio Valley Conference.
Welcome back. We talk track and field now, and we're going to meet Yoshua Reed, a senior who basically does it all. You're a heptathlon, 7 events indoors, and then the decathlon come outdoor season, 10 events. How did you get into this sport where you have to run, jump, throw, everything?
Well, I mean, in high school, I started out just high jump, long jump, and those were my first loves. I really didn't like high jump at first. I was more of a long jumper, then got into high jump, and then senior year came and we needed sprinters, so I was like, well, might as well try, I guess, and came out and ended up being on the 4x1 team, so I was one of the faster guys on the team, so that started my love for sprinting, and then just loving track. I started messing around with the throwers and trying to compete with them, and I just kind of got into throwing there, so when I got to college, I was like, yeah, I didn't know about multis in high school, but you guys got it, so I want to do it. I just love being on the track, so thought I'd do it all.
He was named, by the way, co-OVC Field Athlete of the Week for a couple of weeks ago for winning the HEP down at the Invitational in Huntington, West Virginia, the Marshall Thundering Herd Invitational. But you don't compete every week like some athletes because it taxes you so much.
Yeah. So like when it comes to multis for the heptathlon and even the decathlon outdoors, I only do it twice a season. Normally, I'll do it once earlier in the season just to give myself a mark for the OVC, just to see where I'm at in the rankings and stuff, and then again at the OVC championship. So normally do it earlier in the season so I can get like a whole week off. Like this past week, I've had really light training and then didn't go to the previous meet just to have some time to rest my body because it is a little taxing on us for sure.
How good is Yoshua Reed of the track team? Well, he won the OBC decathlon outdoor meet last year, set a conference record. First time an EKU athlete has ever done that. Had the silver medal in the indoor. So you feel like you're a little bit better as an athlete outdoors versus indoors, and if so, why?
Definitely outdoor. I'm a whole lot better just because the distances are a lot longer. So like indoor, we run the 60 meter. And the 60-meter hurdles. Outdoors, the 100 meters. And me being a taller guy, those shorter athletes get a lot better start than I do, and their drive phase is a lot better than mine. So it takes me a little bit more time to get going. So the 100 meters, I got more time to catch up, and 110 hurdles, like I said, got more time to catch up. And even outdoor, we got other events that are added, like the 400 and the javelin and discus. And the 400 is another race that I can dominate just because I'm taller. I got a bigger stride than everyone else. So, and it's a longer race. So got more time to make up and stuff like that.
Of the 10 events, what's the one that you love the most? High jump because you
High
started
jump,
there?
for sure, yeah. It's where I started my track career, and it's the one I get most excited for me.
So you're in a big event, and you have 10 to run or jump or throw, and you face that one, you say, oh no, I just got to survive this event of the 10. It is which one am I?
Pole vault for sure. It's not even a question. It's not even a question.
Have you got, what's your best vault?
I think my best vault is 12.5 or 12.6, 12 feet 6 inches. Close to 13. I'm trying to get that 13 mark, but to talk in meters, it's 380, 3.8 meters. And I'm trying to get that 4 meter mark because that's around where I start getting my 600 to 700 points, and I really need those, so especially coming out of pole vault.
So the goal is, I would think, to win the OBC decathlon again, and then try to get all the way to the NCAA nationals.
Yes, sir.
What's it going to take? What do you have to do? What do you have to button up?
Well, indoor, in order for me to make it, I would have to have a stellar performance in the pole vault, which I'm not really the pessimistic kind of guy, but pole vault ain't really the kind of meet or event that you can just go in and have a huge PR one day. It's a lot of technical stuff coming out of that. But I'd have to have a stellar performance coming out of there and just kind of tune up my 60 meters and 60-meter hurdles. Those will really put up a lot of points for me. But outdoor is my best bet. So for outdoor, I'd have to tune up my throws, get my throws together, which this year have been a lot better. Even just starting out in the season have been a lot better than last year. And then again, pole vault outdoor is just going to take a lot. But it's definitely doable by the time OVC comes outdoor. Good luck. We'll be rooting for you. I know you're going to, I'd say stay busy, but I know you're already busy. For sure. That is Yahshua Reed, a heptathlon and decathlon athlete with the EKU track and field team. And that does it for another edition of Inside EKU Sports. You can always keep up with Colonel Athletics wherever you are by following our channels on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're going to see you again next week. And as always, go Big E.